All right, so on this insider video, I want to talk about internal marketing. This is something that we were talking about recently. DC was like, you should do an insider video on how we do internal marketing, like all the ways we communicate and show our work as a marketing team here at Drift. And so I'm going to take you through that for the very first time. This one is available for Drift Insider members. I just did an Insider Plus video on how I manage my time, which you might like, but this is for Insider members, okay? So here we go, internal marketing, how and why the marketing team at Drift shares our work. And I'm gonna try to get through this video without Gons giggling in the background as I talk through this, because he's lived this firsthand, okay? So number one is, I care a lot about internal marketing. Actually, let me say it this way. Internal marketing is our #1 marketing channel that we have at Drift, and so I care a lot about it. And that kind of guides a lot of things that we do here at Drift. And the reason why I care a lot about internal marketing is because this is what most people think marketing does, right? They have no freaking idea. They think we do arts and crafts. We cut out a bunch of stuff, we stick it on the wall, we make some glue, right? My daughter would have a field day with this. She would eat 3 of those crayons within 2 minutes of seeing this. So this is what people do. They think that marketing is arts and crafts. Or maybe they know what marketing is, but they think it's like this. It's AQLs, TALs, TGLs, SALs, SQLs, right? I always joke with Matt, who's our creative director here. He always gives me a hard time about all the business acronyms that we use at this company. And it's probably just like you, right? So either they don't give your job enough credit and think you just do arts and crafts, or it's too much in the weeds and nobody actually understands what all those acronyms mean and what you do. And I love Serious Decisions. This is not a knock on them. It's more like nobody outside of marketing and sales is gonna know what the hell this actually means. And so, you know, my TLDR is like most people actually have 0 clue what marketers do. I didn't even know what marketers do really until being at Drift, to be honest with you. And for me personally, this is very personal because I felt this firsthand. I was the first full-time marketer hired at Drift, and really was, if you looked around the company, there was basically all designers, product managers, and engineers. And so something that we did early on, and we still do at Drift today, I'll talk more about that, is we have this ritual that we call show and tell, which is Friday at 4 o'clock, the whole company shuts down, and everybody used to go around and share what they did that week. Now it's transitioned where it's one person from each team presents for 5 minutes, but back in the day when there was 10 people at the company, we would literally sit around a table, right? And everyone would just kind of go around and for a couple minutes just reflect on the week and share what they worked on. And my very first week at Drift, I had to go. DC and Elias, they made me present because it's Drift. You got to ship something in your first week. And so I'm going around the table, like the team's going around the table, all these engineers are sharing like, you know, new code they shipped this week, designers are showing mock-ups, and then I gotta go and be like, this week I wrote a blog post. And everybody was like, what? What? That has no importance, right? And so that was the moment when I felt like, oh my God, nobody knows what the value of marketing is because we haven't done it yet. So ever since then, I've taken internal marketing really seriously. And so the way I tell that story now is, instead of just saying, hey, we wrote this blog post, I would tell a story about like why this matters, what we got from it, what the plan is for the future, how this is building a foundation for the future of content and traffic and SEO and all this stuff, right? And so I felt that firsthand, and so I've cared since that day a lot about internal marketing because I also saw the light bulb happen with some of our engineers at Drift. You know, I'm just thinking about like T-Run and Andrew, who are 2 of our engineers that were here then. They, like, it was so much fun working with them because as a marketer, I got to show them, hey, I'm helping people find the thing that you're building. And once they realize that, they're like, wait a second, marketing isn't arts and crafts, right? Marketing is the thing that gives, you know, an audience to the code that I've been writing and the thing that I've been working on. And so that created this like amazing bond between engineering and marketing and product and marketing and design because they see how we can actually help people understand and get to use the things that they're building. And so the reason, like, on top of that, the reason I care about it so much is because if you can't get people that are inside your company, that are here every day, that know what Drift is, that know what we're doing, they know our mission, if I can't get people inside of this company fired up about what we're doing, how am I ever gonna go and get people outside? How am I ever gonna get a customer excited if I can't even get the people who come to this office every single day excited about it? And so I wanna take you through exactly how we do internal communication at Drift, which I think has been a huge reason that we've been able to turn our company into like this marketing machine, this marketing engine. I think my favorite thing about Drift is that we don't have 20 people on the marketing team, we have about 200 because there's so many people at Drift that want to help amplify our stuff. and share what we're doing. And I think it's a result of the way that we do some of this next stuff. So number one is everybody on the team shares their plan for the day in our marketing Slack channel. You're all using Slack if you watch this video, my guess. And every day we start the day by each one of us shares what we're gonna be working on that day. And so I just took this screenshot for an example. Let me just like read through this quickly, make sure nothing super secret is in here. Yeah, so like, okay, here you have Matt, who's our creative director. He's saying, I'm working on stuff for Hypergrowth and I'm doing the Drift video today. Okay, great. So the rest of the day, like everybody whenever they start their day, doesn't matter when, right, is gonna share what they're doing that day. And this just gives visibility and accountability into everything that's happening. And also, I like it because it makes me think about, what am I doing today? Okay, I'm gonna share that. The team knows what I'm doing, everybody knows what they're doing, and it's a nice kind of ritual to start the day. And the cool part is we've been doing this in the marketing Slack channel for a while. Now, other teams, if you're watching this, we invented this, by the way, okay? Not any of the other teams out there, just remember this. Other teams at Drift have now adopted what we've done, and I see them doing it, and it's a nice way to keep everybody accountable in Slack. The second thing that inside of this, we also have a marketing internal channel. So this is the public marketing channel, right? This one is private. This is just for people that are actually on the marketing team, and this is the place where we share like, hey, I'm running a little late. Gail wasn't feeling so well, she's working from home. Dan also caught whatever Gail had, right? That's where we communicate, status updates. Hey, I got a doctor's appointment tomorrow, I'll be in by noon or whatever. And also where we just kind of, play around and have fun with each other. John DeWolf is an engineer on our marketing team. He's been here for a year and a half-ish. He just accepted my LinkedIn invitation. And so I took a screenshot of that and posted it, and we had a little fun. So it's also where we kind of have those conversations as opposed to having them out in public. It's kind of our little, I guess like locker room area for the marketing team to kind of hang out and chat. We have one other channel that we use a lot, which is called the Swipe File. And we started this channel because we share like inspiration all the time, but it would get lost in the noise of the other marketing channel. So we wanted to create a separate one that's like, hey, here's a video that I liked, here's an ad that I liked, here's a landing page that I liked, here's an email that we liked. So we can have this kind of channel to swipe through for ideas and inspiration. So you see Sarah shared something about like, hey, I love that we don't do stock photos. The entirety of this post lost me because of the stock photos, blah, 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 blah. This other one was I was reading Adweek and took a picture of it. There's some good idea here that we wanted to share with our team. So we use this channel as a way to kind of keep inspiration for us. So that's how we use Slack. But inside of that is something that's really important. This is probably the most important takeaway from this video, is we show our work even if it's not done. And so this ultimately comes down to avoiding the big reveal, right? The worst thing you could do as a marketer, I think, is say, hey, here's the things that I'm gonna work on this week. And then you go away, and then Friday you come back and you're like, here's the stuff that I've done. You never open yourself up to feedback, getting other people's opinions on that, seeing if it's on the right track. And so something that we've done since the beginning is always try to avoid the big reveal. And that means we're working on a big video, we're working on a website, or we're working on a blog post and something small like an email. We always try to show our work as it's happening. This opens yourself up for feedback to get people's opinions on the team, which doesn't mean that we go and find consensus, right? We don't want to do marketing by consensus or committee, that never works. But it's a way to share, to basically share what you're working on to get feedback from the people that matter. But it also kind of just creates this culture of like, accountability. Hey, I said I was gonna do that thing, and here's how I'm working on it. And so basically you show what you're doing as you're doing it. The difference is you don't just show it when it's over. You show as it's happening. And this has been the biggest learning curve for most people, and it's the thing that makes most marketers scared. Wait a second, I'm not done with my blog post yet. Why would I show it to you? Because it's not about that. It's just about momentum and showing that you're making progress toward the goals. And so this is a great example from Jackie, who runs social media here. She's working on what was she doing? She was working on a newsletter, and she shared a Google Doc. Hey, here's the newsletter that's going out tomorrow or whatever, or for this week. Here's another example from Jackie about the social plan for DC's Ink column that we write. This is just her showing her work. It's not done. Hey, I'm in the middle of this. I'm just showing you so you know what I'm working on right now. I even did this earlier today. Hey, I'm showing some work. I made this deck for Insider today, how we communicate on to our marketing team. And I said Meta because I'm sharing it in the marketing channel. But this is me saying I just finished this thing. And I just want to show the team, hey, I got some work done. Here's where it is. Also, then nobody's wondering about, what did Dave do? What is he doing all? I don't ever see him do anything. No, you saw me. I'm creating stuff. You saw it right here. And we even do this, and especially do this for really big work. And so this is like even if you're a writer or in PR and you think that maybe I'm working on bigger stuff, it takes months or weeks, doesn't matter. We still show it daily. And so here's a great screenshot. This is a screenshot from Gail, who who basically runs all of our content here, right? Gail took something that most people would never share, which is our editorial calendar. And most marketers would say, oh, it's on a Trello board, it's in the spreadsheet. But Gail's just showing this to show that she did it and have visibility into what's happening. Hey, just an FYI, if you want to know what content we have for the rest of May, here it is. Just an FYI, you don't have to go read it, but here it is. I worked on that. Here's another one from Lacey, who does PR, runs PR here, right? She was working on a project for Hypergrowth, where we're reaching out to people in London where our event is gonna be to try to get them in the know about the event, to sell some tickets. This is just an update, right, an FYI. I think most PR people would wait till the end of the week or some big report to share this, but Lacey's sharing it as it's happening. This is also true for stuff like bylines, right? This is an article that DC wrote for TechCrunch. This isn't gonna run for a couple more weeks, but Gail helped DC on it and worked with Lacey on it, so she's sharing, hey, we got this thing done today. And even if you're a designer or a video producer, you can do this. So I wanna give you 2 examples. One example is from Michelle, who's a designer on our team here. She was working on a landing page, a new template for a landing page. This is very much a work in progress that took her a couple hours. But instead of like having it take 6 hours, 10 hours, and then we finally see what she's working on, she shared this a work in progress. Hey, just wanna show some work. This is something that I did today. This is a great example from Gans, where he's working on this big video for Hypergrowth. It would be so easy for him to go take 8 hours, do this video, come back and be like, boom, here's the video. But instead, he literally just took a screenshot of what he was doing in Adobe to say, hey, FYI, today I'm working on this video. And you can clearly see he's done some work on it, right? This is such an easy way to have accountability and ownership across the team. And so ultimately it comes down to don't let people guess what you're working on. Be proactive. I don't think you can over communicate. Just show your work. It's such an easy thing to do. Take a freaking screenshot and share it. That's how easy it can be. And then the last thing here is show and tell. Now we do show and tell with the whole company, right? We always have, but the difference is everybody gets 5 minutes. We actually have a cool YouTube video on this from last year. If you go and look up Drift show and tell, I think you can actually see how this actually goes down. But now we have every product. So Matt, who runs show and tell here, he shares the lineup, right? Every Friday at 4 o'clock. What we do, hey, this week products going first, then marketing, then sales, then company success, then the customer team. Then we have a couple awards that we give out every week. Each team gets 5 minutes, which is cool, and one person from each team presents that week. And we just kind of, in marketing, we have like a little bot that just rotates through a Google sheet and says, hey, this week Gans is up, next week Dave is up. So it's a cool way to like get visibility in front of the whole company, but then also represent your team and show the rest of the company, hey, what your team did that week. So that's how we do show and tell now. And so it's 5 minutes. We show like what we shipped this week in marketing. So we have this one slide that shows all the 97 things that we did this week, and it gets a nice round of applause to show the team, hey, look at all the stuff that we're doing. We got your back this week. Then we go and probably spend 4.5 minutes on a story or an update. Okay, Hypergrowth is in 3 weeks, so I want to tell you about what the plan is for Hypergrowth London. Or, hey, we just did a big blog re-architecture and it increased our organic search traffic 20%. I want to show you how that worked and why we did it and how it worked. So it's a great opportunity to go and tell a story in front of the company. So ultimately, the one thing I want you to take from this video is this idea of showing your work, especially if you're in marketing where people don't always know what you're doing and you don't always have something, public to the world to show. You're doing something every day. Show your work, show your Google Docs, your Google Sheets, your templates, your screenshots, your designs, your videos. It increases transparency, ownership, and communication across the team. I think it's had a huge impact on the level of work that we do, but also the speed and the collaboration that we have as a team. So tweet at me, at Dave Gerhardt, let me know what you think. Do something similar with your team. What do you think about our process? What would you tweak, change? And also, I'm just happy to answer any questions. Maybe in the future, we could do an AMA on this topic specifically. So that's it for this episode of Drift Insider, and I will see you soon. Bye.